Today I want to talk about residential investment property hunting in Perth, based on real experiences and real observations from the buyer's side. This is not about blaming agents or attacking individuals. It's about understanding how the system actually works, what patterns buyers are likely to face, and how to protect yourself from making rushed or costly decisions. Before we get into buyer behavior and agent tactics, it's important to understand the background of the Perth market. Perth's residential property market has tightened significantly in recent years. After a long period of flat conditions following the mining downturn, demand has increased due to population growth, low vacancy rates, limited new housing supply, and rising construction costs. In many suburbs, this has resulted in low stock levels and faster sales cycles. That environment creates pressure, and pressure changes behavior. Understanding this context is important because it explains why buyers often feel rushed. But market conditions do not remove buyer responsibility. In fact, they increase the need for discipline. One of the first things that becomes obvious during a property search is that the same buyer can be treated very differently by different agents. In similar price ranges and property types, some agents are professional and transparent. They provide rental estimates, comparable sales, and clear answers. Others are vague, dismissive, or evasive. Some rush conversations. Some avoid direct questions. What changes isn't the buyer, it's the agent's perception of the buyer's experience level. Agents make quick judgments, and those judgments affect how much information you receive. Another common pattern is urgency. Buyers frequently hear things like, "There are other buyers." "The seller wants an answer today. This won't last." Sometimes competition is real, but urgency is also a sales tool. Urgency benefits the seller and the agent, not the buyer. A sound investment does not disappear simply because you ask for time to review. If a decision must be made immediately, it's worth asking why. Another issue buyers face is verbal reassurance. Buyers are often told, "That clause is standard. It won't be enforced. Everyone signs it." But only what is written in the contract matters. Verbal assurances are not legally binding. Once a contract is accepted, buyers are bound by the written terms, not by what was said during conversations. Now, an important WA-specific point. In Western Australia, residential property transactions are typically handled by licensed settlement agents, not lawyers. This is normal practice. However, settlement agents do not provide legal advice. Their role is procedural, not advisory. The offer and acceptance, or O&A, is the binding contract, and the greatest risk is usually found in the special conditions. Buyers should pay close attention to clauses involving finance deadlines, inspection rights, termination conditions, penalties, and any wording that favors the seller's timeline. Verbal explanations do not override these clauses. Another red flag is discouragement of independent review. Buyers may hear things like, "It's very standard. A review will slow things down." Other buyers didn't need advice. Any resistance to independent review should trigger caution. A legitimate deal survives scrutiny. Pressure only exists where scrutiny introduces risk. Buyer guilt is another common trap. Buyers often feel uncomfortable walking away after agents have spent time with them. But time spent is part of the agent's role. It does not create obligation. Buying property is a commercial decision, not a relationship. Walking away is not rude. It is often the correct decision. So what should buyers do instead? Slow the process down. Read every special condition carefully. Ignore verbal assurances. Use your own independent settlement agent. Seek independent advice if something is unclear. And walk away without guilt when terms are unfavorable. A useful mindset shift is this. Instead of asking, "Am I being difficult?" ask, "Does this protect my long-term outcome?" To conclude, due to high demand and limited supply in the Perth residential property market, buyers are often placed under pressure to act quickly. In this environment, it's critical to be clear about what you want and avoid rushing into decisions driven by market heat rather than logic. A competitive market does not reduce risk. It increases the need for clarity. At Aussie Money Rules, we've helped many businesses and individuals understand and navigate complex offers and acceptances, contractual conditions, and legal-style documents that are often difficult to interpret. If you experience difficulty understanding documentation or conditions, support is available. Being informed early can prevent costly mistakes later